Oi oi oi, HoniGame is back. After digging into the Playtime Company employee handbook, HoniGame has uncovered the owner of the notebook, PW, and the myriad dark secrets Playtime Company has hidden. These incidents have never been mentioned in any part of the game before, and this is the first time they are being brought to light. For instance, did you know there was another smiling critter involved in the Bigger Bodies initiative marked as Experiment 1186? Or that catnap once escaped, causing catastrophic consequences that Playtime Company deliberately ignored? And there's a plethora of top-secret information about Huggy Wuggy and the Experiment 1006 went through in the early days of the Bigger Bodies initiative. In today's video, join HoniGame as we delve into the dark history of Playtime Company and bring to light the darkest events that have occurred here that you've never heard of before. Are you excited yet? If so, hit that subscribe button to help HoniGame reach the first 100 subscribers. If not, the next dark event might be HoniGame taking on all the monsters in the factory. Okay, have you all subscribed? Done. Let's dive into the video. First, we go to Experiment 1199, which means Brawn was created after Huggy Wuggy number 1170, Catnap 1188, and Mommy Longlegs number 1222. We once had a VHS tape recording the process by which Brawn was created and the events that followed. Accordingly, the person put inside Brawn was named Thomas Clark. The experiment was conducted on 58-year-old Thomas Clark, a full-time employee at Playtime Company since 1955. Unlike the orphan children forced into the Bigger Bodies initiative, Thomas volunteered after being diagnosed with late-stage lung cancer, and as per Playtime Company's assertion, he signed all documents while fully conscious and not coerced. However, the outcome of Experiment 1199 did not meet Playtime Company's expectations. Thomas Clark's mind was not clear after being transferred into the body of the toy dinosaur Brawn. According to preliminary assessments, Brawn was unaware of his surroundings and what had happened to him. Things became even more concerning when other experiments exhibited hostile behavior towards Brawn. Inside them was the mind of a child, so when they realized Brawn was an adult, the toys attacked him. They tore at Brawn's throat and thyroid, and if the staff hadn't intervened, Brawn might have died. Brawn had to undergo surgery to save his life, which, according to the VHS tape, took up to 12 hours. The proposed solution was to isolate Brawn from the other toys and await further instructions on what to do next. Next, there was a report on the results of Experiment 1170, also known as Huggy Wuggy. According to the game's timeline, the Bigger Bodies Initiative project began in 1990. And by 1992 we had the first incident related to this experiment, Huggy Wuggy's escape. Therefore, this report must have occurred between these two events. Possibly in 1991, it documented the initial assessments of Huggy Wuggy right after its creation. Accordingly, the appearance of Experiment 1170 perfectly matched Playtime Company's expectations. It had flexible yet extremely sturdy limbs. During tests, it could bend an iron bar, had sharp teeth capable of breaking bones, and a friendly smile just like the toy version. Playtime Company was extremely pleased with the results of Experiment 1170. It was the most perfect product that the Bigger Bodies initiative had ever created. It was highly intelligent and obedient, so they were very confident in deploying this creature to work inside the factory. It could camouflage exceptionally well, posing as a statue so convincingly that visitors to the factory did not realize they were facing a living toy. Huggy was the strongest evidence of the Bigger Bodies Initiative project's success. However, this didn't last long, as within a year Huggy began to lose control. We had previously seen this incident in a VHS tape released before Chapter 3 of the game, but this is the first time the report on the incident has been published. According to the report, Huggy escaped through the ventilation system and was spotted by two employees at 10:27 p.m., 3 minutes later. Playtime Company's security forces were deployed to pursue and capture Huggy. They found Huggy near the train tracks, but the tranquilizers they were equipped with had no effect on him, and the creature continued to flee. It took until 3:38 a.m., nearly 4 hours later, to locate Huggy again. This time, he wasn't running but stood motionless outside a house for unknown reasons, likely the home of the child who had been turned into Huggy. He did not resist and allowed the security team to capture and return him to the factory. 5 employees were killed during the chase, and 6 others are still unaccounted for, presumably also inside the creature's stomach. Playtime Company added their notes to this report. They did everything they could to cover up the incident, ensuring no information leaked out. It seems the company's security team was negligent and had ordered Huggy to patrol the factory. Taking advantage of their lack of supervision, the creature escaped, forcing the company to temporarily shut down to clean up the aftermath. Next is a report on the behavior of Experiment 1006. It turns out that the nickname the prototype was given to Experiment 1006 by the staff after witnessing its superior intelligence, which led to a series of problems. First, it figured out how to make a laser device from the components of a digital watch placed in its cell, and it used this laser to disable the camera inside the cell. When the camera was turned back on, it was nowhere to be seen. It turned out that it knew the cameras had blind spots, and it had hidden in those blind spots to escape. Fortunately, the security staff discovered this in time and locked the door before it could escape outside. Unfortunately, they had to close the door while one staff member was still inside and couldn't get out in time. Although it was known to be a brutal creature, its savagery showed that it didn't act on instinct, but rather because it wanted to tear that person apart for fun. PW thought that Experiment 1006 should just be killed, but Dr. Holly Sawyer didn't want to do that. He wanted to keep it because of its superior intelligence. No one knows its true intentions. Here we are. Finally, it's Mommy Longlegs' turn to be mentioned, and I was quite surprised to learn that Playtime Company once considered Mommy a failed experiment. Specifically, right after creation, Mommy showed extremely aggressive behavior, making it impossible for her to work in the factory. However, upon closer observation, this creature began to exhibit the protective instincts of a mother toward the other experiments, something the researchers hadn't anticipated. So they assigned Mommy to work in the game station area, overseeing the orphan children participating in the tests there. Mommy was very friendly with the children, never showing any aggression in front of them, and with her extendable limbs, she could easily manage the kids. However, the children began to notice that Mommy wasn't a puppet or someone in a spider costume, so the staff started making jokes about it to keep the kids from getting suspicious. Dr. Holly Sawyer also believed this served as mental preparation for the children before he turned them into toys. In another report, due to the toy version being loved by children, they began to receive Experiment 1220 to more positively, and Mommy also started to become closer to the children. However, when Mommy realized that the children never returned, she became extremely upset, often wandering outside the game station, where she was occasionally seen by staff. Experiment 1186, alongside the familiar faces mentioned above, PW also found evidence of an experiment that hasn't appeared in any game, Experiment 1186, also known as Bobby Bearhug. This seems to be a failed experiment, as Bobby Bearhug was almost paralyzed, with a twitching body and no response to stimuli. It couldn't hear, speak, or stand properly. The report also revealed that Boxy Boo was the first successful experiment of the Bigger Bodies initiative and was used as a template for subsequent experiments. However, the process still needed improvement to avoid cases like Bobby Bearhug, especially as they were preparing to create Experiment 1188, known as Catnap. Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 introduces us to a new area called Playcare. This is where orphan children are raised before being experimented on and turned into living toys, with the area being dominated by a cat named Catnap, or Experiment 1188. Every night, it uses red gas to put the children to sleep. This is the report on the children's reactions when the red gas was first used on them. According to the report, this gas was used nightly to ensure the children got enough sleep, as they had to participate in exhausting tests every day. According to observations, the children's reactions to the red gas were very positive. It gave them more energy upon waking and enhanced brain activity during sleep. The children showed improved memory, sensory processing, and emotional handling during daytime activities. The research team believed that the red gas would help the children unlock their potential. However, a few children experienced side effects such as nightmares, sleepwalking, increased heart rates, dilated pupils, hallucinations, high fevers, and nausea. Given these undesirable side effects, there was some debate about whether to continue using the red gas on the children. Despite the mixed opinions, the overall consensus was that the benefits of the red gas outweighed its harms. The next report details an accident we are hearing about for the first time, which occurred on November 20th of an unspecified year, involving catnap. This report was submitted by PW, who was working in the Playtime company's science department at the time. It seems that by this time, PW had been promoted and gained access to darker projects. According to the report, after successfully transferring consciousness, Experiment 1188, Catnap was detained to acclimate to its new body. However, during transportation by the security team, Catnap escaped and killed 6 security personnel before being subdued with tranquilizers. The accident scene looked like something out of a horror movie, with blood and body parts scattered everywhere. PW suggested that the company needed to establish safer procedures for employees working with the experiments. Such losses are incredibly wasteful of the company's resources and human lives, and they affect work progress as the survivors have to take on the duties of those who have died. The following section lists the names of those who perished in this accident. PW wanted the company to honor them, recognizing that they were human beings, not disposable objects. He was willing to risk discussing with management to propose safety solutions because he didn't want to see any more of his colleagues die. However, the outcome of PW's report was that the company rejected his proposal and continued with the experiments. Nothing changed, and it wouldn't in the future. Everyone just had to accept it and keep working. Although Boxy Boo does not appear directly in the game, through the VHS tape The Hour of Joy, you can see that this monster also actively participated in the massacre. Currently, Boxy Boo doesn't have an official number, but many theories suggest it might be Experiment 1160 because a report mentioned that Experiment 1160 had agile movement, a characteristic of Boxy Boo. One thing is certain, the first victim devoured by Boxy Boo was Rowan Stoll, an employee of Playtime Company, and this notice revealed what really happened to him. On March 30th, 1991, an IT employee named Rowan Stoll contacted creative director Leith Pierre, stating that visitors were startled to discover that the Huggy Wuggy statue appeared to be watching them. Rowan suggested that someone had installed surveillance cameras inside the statue's eyes, and this issue needed to be addressed. On May 28, 1991, Rowan again spoke with director Leith Pierre about the issue, stating that the technicians had not fixed the statue's eyes properly, making it look like it was watching people. Rowan promised that he would not bring up the matter again and that he had let it go. However, Rowan did not stop there, but dug deeper. He began to fear that someone wanted to eliminate him for knowing too much. The following week, he planned to disable the company's servers and security system for 60 minutes, during which he would release all the information he had found. The company needed to prevent this immediately, so what did the company do? They released Boxy Boo, letting the monster kill Rowan Stoll. Boxy Boo was initially created in 1966. Although it was somewhat successful, it was not as popular as other toys and did not feature the company's main mascot toy line in the 1990s. However, Playtime Company found a new purpose for Boxy Boo in the Bigger Bodies Initiative project. Boxy Boo was created to eliminate lower-level employees who accidentally discovered the company's inhumane experiments, and Rowan Stoll was the first victim of this monster. But he certainly wasn't the last. And those are the darkest secrets that HoniGame found in Playtime Company's employee handbook. What do you think? If you found it interesting and enjoyable, remember to like, share this video, and hit the subscribe button for HoniGame. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next videos. HoniGame out.